Hello everyone, B.R. Newman here with this month's Astrology Tarot forecast, consisting of this month's most relevant astrological transits, as well as a 3-card tarot spread drawn special for your astrological zodiac sign, everyone who shares your sun sign, or you could watch this for your rising sign as well. Follow this up with a trip to my website, IamHelios.com, and check out the Choose Your Own Tarot adventure, and discover where that leads you. Also, I highly recommend getting a reading with me, either tarot, astrology, or a combination of the two, to get really specific in the most useful way. Also, you may be aware I teach this stuff. Some courses are available. Some may be enrolling now, so check it out. So here it is, Capricorn, your 3-card tarot spread for the month of January 2018. In this, you have a central theme, snapshot of your current situation, and 2-dimensional timelines you could choose from, 2 doorways. You can choose to walk through one of these 2. In your central theme, you have a major arcana card, the Hanged Man. Now this is about willingly shifting your perspective to gain a new understanding, a new vantage point, get a new spin on something, and change your mind deliberately. So this is about, of course, toppling preconceived notions and shifting your defaults, shifting your habits. There's some aspect of yourself that you have outgrown, and it's time for that former self to topple. This card has ties to Norse mythology. There's the story of Odin, who hanged himself from the Tree of Knowledge in order to gain a thorough understanding of the universe and the wisdom of the universe through his understanding of the runes. The wisdom of the runes came flooding into his mind, but only once he hung himself from this tree deliberately. So the Hanged Man has not been hanged by someone else. He has put himself in this position willingly. So that's really what this is all about. This month is going to be about deliberately shifting your perspectives, deliberately changing your mind. And this might involve, stepping out of your comfort zone in one way or another to see something differently, to expose yourself to something perhaps drastically different. And this is, to break old patterns and, get rid of inertia and really free you up. And free you up in a way that will allow you to get in touch with the truth of your being. Because you are not the old habits and psychological constructs you have outgrown. There's something new that's wanting to be expressed through you, and it can't express through you unless you give yourself an update, so to speak. So to do so, you'll want to take one of these 2-dimensional timelines. And on the one hand, you have the Princess of Swords on the left side. And all of these court cards are associated with the 16 personality profiles by the Myers-Briggs system. So there are 16 court cards and 16 Myers-Briggs personality profiles. And that's very convenient and very useful. So this Princess of Swords is directly correspondent with the ISTP, which is the Introverted Sensing Thinking Perceiver. Now this is someone very practical, very pragmatic. They're ready to try anything, willing to get their hands dirty. They're just ready for anything. And they're also unpretentious, so they're not overestimating themselves. They're ready and willing to update themselves to step up to the challenge. They often find themselves working alone because of their approach, their independent nature. And so they're extremely observant, and they're ready to admit the reality of the situation in which they are embedded, and they're willing to do something about it. So, and they also don't take everything so seriously. So this being an ISTP rather than an ISTJ, there isn't the component of judging. It's merely perceiving. This is a princess, and like the prince, she has the P placement rather than J placement, like the queens and kings or knights have. So she doesn't have the burden of tremendous amounts of responsibility. She just has the willingness, the gumption, and the spark to move in that direction. She's in the process of adopting more and more responsibility, and she's learning her own capabilities. So that's what that path is really all about. It's getting your hands dirty, humbling yourself, and doing what needs to be done. And also, like the Hanged Man, liberating yourselves of any kinds of preconceived notions or judgments that are holding you back. On the other side, you have the Lust card, another major arcana card like your central theme. And this is about transcending the beast within, sort of basic, unevolved desires and motivations that aren't quite in line with your highest self. This is about, triumphing over that and harnessing that also. It's about taking ownership of all that stuff and using it as raw materials to work with, to build something that you can thrive with. These primal tendencies and urges, when consciously directed, can be a source of great strength and power. So it looks like, considering the nature of your central theme, with either of these paths, you are going to be, through this shift in perspective, gaining new abilities, gaining a greater level of strength, and exercising that strength as well. So it will be up to you whether this happens through taking on a new personality profile through the ISTP and getting your hands dirty and thinking about things quite realistically as you can and pragmatically as possible, and then also taking in all the details you can and assessing them, meeting them, addressing them one by one in as productive of manner as possible. Or if this happens through personal examination and transcending ways of being and habits and beliefs that no longer serve you. I personally would recommend taking the right-hand dimensional timeline, the Lust card, since that tends to be much more causal, works at a much more foundational level, so doing some really deep inner work and, refining the nature of the projector is a little more productive than attempting to adjust the nature of the image that's being projected onto the screen. So this reading I gave you here sets the stage. To take this further, go to my website, IamHelios.com, and take the Choose Your Own Tarot adventure. With the context defined by this tarot spread in mind, this will take you through a much more elaborate tarot reading, and ultimately a fate card, and a very specific frequency that will help you bring out the best aspects of this fate card. That should be fun. For the most useful specifics possible, of course, contact me for a reading. So let's dive right into the good stuff. You might want to write down some of these dates. January 1st through the 2nd is the full moon. Now this is happening in Cancer at 11 degrees. This means completion, this means fullness, and in Cancer this concerns the home, family, compassion, and through these forces it can align you with your most authentic self. And then also on the 2nd you'll have Sun in Capricorn sextile Neptune in Pisces. This increases intuition, and it might actually send some insight through dream time. On January 3rd, you'll have Venus sextile Neptune in Pisces, and this might bring some romantic possibilities, so look out for that. When you combine the influences of Venus in Capricorn with Neptune in Pisces, you get this vast grasp on what is possible concerning matters of romantic fulfillment or sensual satisfaction being made manifest in a very tangible and practical way, so you might see this materialize before you as opportunities. So again, look out for that. On January 6th, you'll have Mercury in Sagittarius trine Uranus in Aries. So this could bring some really good news. It could bring the aha moment, some kind of epiphany. If some kind of greater level of clarity comes, start making plans, start developing strategies from this place. Also, I should add, this month is free of any retrogrades, so this is a wonderful time to start planting seeds and doing precisely as I had suggested. Start making plans, start implementing these plans, start operating actively from this place of clarity, from this new beginning, this launch pad here in January. It is a rare gift that we have the start of a new year free of any retrogrades, so please take advantage of this. It could be very fruitful, very profitable for you. Consider this fact also on January 8th, you'll have Mars in Scorpio sextile Pluto in Capricorn. This increases your powers of concentration and focus. It actually helps you to perhaps more practically and productively implement ideas. Developing sustainable systems that work for you. Systems that diligently operate on many dimensions in favor of the highest benefit possible for you. Then we come upon what we could call a zone of challenge between January 12th and 14th. On the 12th, you'll have Mercury conjunct Saturn in Capricorn. So both planets are in Capricorn, of course, and so this means that new information could come that could perhaps provide the incentive and the means to reevaluate your plans and shore some things up, tie some loose ends. And then on the 13th, you'll have Venus in Capricorn square Uranus in Aries. This could be where unexpected expenses come up, and this could be also a continuation of that Mercury in Capricorn conjunct Saturn in Capricorn on the 12th. Both the incentive and the means to start rethinking things, tying up some loose ends and getting really clear about everything, so it's actually an opportunity. One that offers a bit of a clue, a bit of a key or remedy here, with Venus in Capricorn sextile Chiron in Pisces, also on the 13th. Intuitively guided beautification or aesthetic alignment in favor of spiritual inspiration, beautification done with the intent to bring about new inspiration, new insights, and so on. You might find that a little can go a long way. It's probably pretty important to take advantage of that opportunity on the 13th, because on the 14th you'll have Sun in Capricorn square Uranus in Aries, and this can bring about a kind of disturbance or distraction, something that shakes you up slightly, perhaps temporarily blurring your vision, so to speak. So it's nice to have something to fall back on. On the 15th you'll have two things going on, Sun in Capricorn sextile Chiron in Pisces, and Jupiter in Scorpio sextile Pluto in Capricorn. So considering the combination of these two transits, it's pretty clearly implied that the disturbance occurring on the 14th would be slightly inconsequential and may in fact serve to the greater glory of your vision and your intent and your purpose. as these two transits do, in fact, bring a little more light, a little more clarity. You could attract some help. You could find yourself motivated to work hard and find that that work pans out immediately. So take advantage of that. Now that you know this is occurring, you can deliberately do so. Deliberately put some extra time aside, a little more focus, a little more energy into something, and it should go further. I suspect you will have learned something by this point, perhaps something about the quality of your own character, that will compel you to more confidently apply yourself to the task at hand, leading you into the new moon on January 16th. Now this is at about 27 degrees in Capricorn, a very powerful moon. It's conjunct Pluto and Venus, offering transformative potentials in love and money and finances, resources and sensory pleasures, etc. It's sextile Jupiter, which just brings it all to the nth degree, makes it more possible, more expansive. It's sextile Mars, bringing greater focus, attention, action, a tendency to do rather than to not do, to act rather than not act, and make something profitable, make something work, see something through rather than passively observe or drift by. Sextile Chiron, which may compel someone to help you, to lend their hand to your cause. But lastly, it is also square Uranus, which brings about something completely unpredictable, a kind of wild card, some element of this, some edge to this new moon that you will not be able to foresee. But this may actually be to the benefit of the rest of the transits, considering how powerful they are, how numerous they are. They're likely to define the context and the setting, and this unpredictable element, you could say, may actually just be icing on the cake. It may be entirely beneficial to you, but it will be something that you don't expect. There is some element of the unexpected. If you take it on willingly and accept it and embrace it, it'll be much less likely to materialize in an abrasive or uncomfortable manner. This will lead right into Mars and Scorpio trine Chiron in Pisces on January 18th, and this could compel you to look deep within yourself for the purpose of unification, perhaps finding ways to reconcile differences between contradictory facets of your existence, seeking and hopefully finding profound meaning as a kind of common denominator between many aspects of yourself to give you purpose and focus. And then on January 24th, you'll have Mercury conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Look for an opportunity to take action. It should be quite clear. If you are meant to take action at this time, you'll feel it. So act on that. Present something, launch something, start implementing something. Follow your heart, be cautious, but don't overthink things. In any case, it's likely to be a very powerful period. On January 25th, you'll have Mercury in Capricorn sextile Jupiter in Scorpio. If you want your voice, your message, your vision to be clearly heard and seen and understood, this is the time to speak. Communicating very clearly on this date can help tremendously the nature of these next few transits, and most notably Mercury in Capricorn square Uranus in Aries. New, perhaps unexpected information could come in that might confuse you or those you are working with, but if your foundational intention and vision were adequately conveyed and articulated beforehand, then this potential for confusion shouldn't derail anything. Just keep up the momentum, keep working, keep your vision clear, because this month closes out with a full moon lunar eclipse on January 31st. This is occurring in Leo. You can expect a sense of completion, fruition, a culmination of all of your efforts. This potential is very unlikely to go unnoticed, occurring in Leo. It's likely to be beautiful, dramatic, extravagant, and very inspiring, so make sure you notice it. Make sure you make it conscious. Whatever happens at the end of this month, embed it in your mind. Remember it. It could serve as a source of inspiration for a long time to come. This will bring with it a powerful surge of energy. The conscious application of your intent will keep this within the realm of the beneficial. Watch it carefully, not to control its manifestation, but to align it with the truth of your being. Don't forget about it and thus make it random. Make it conscious, make it deliberate. So align this potential and all potentials this month with the truth of your existence, found at the core of the heart of your being, your most authentic self, perhaps first glimpsed at the first of the month for the first full moon, bringing this all around full circle.